show, please comment, like, share the live, and we'll bring up your comments if it's something that we want to talk about. So, but anyway, welcome my co-hosts David and Angel. Welcome back for another episode. How you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. Oh, my bad. Didn't mean to jump all over you.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm doing pretty good. There was a local Comic-Con that was in my area down here in Peoria, Illinois, and so I picked up a lot of good Spider-Man stuff, some Pokemon stuff, and some pop figures. So just adding a little bit of spice before coming on to tonight.
Sounds like you did a lot of adulting today.
Hey, my inner 5-year-old was coming out in full force today.
All right. Angel, how you doing, bro?
Good. Sorry I wasn't here last week. Told you Rio was gonna win. The show was better than I thought it was gonna be. And Bobby Lashley should be fired.
He wanted to put that jab in. Oh, snap.
I was praising Bobby Lashley last week, and now you want him fired.
Bobby Lashley should be fired. All right. Well,
we'll dive into it.
It's not on the docket, but go ahead. I'm going to give you the floor for the minute you want to bash on Bobby Lashley. Why should Bobby Lashley be fired?
No, I mean, there's a lot I could say about all of it, but Gonzo's right. He's just, besides the spear of Logan through the pod, that was cool. But other than that, he was just useless. And when he came in, he got 0 pop. I felt so bad for him, actually. And then, he just didn't make a difference in the match. It just felt weird, I don't know. I can't explain it, but it just wasn't good.
I felt both him and Logan did absolutely nothing in that match.
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird. I don't know. It was a weird
situation. Last week was weird then, because I was singing his praises.
Yeah, it was weird. Were you? Oh, okay. I didn't even hear that part.
He did.
I thought the girls' one was pretty good. Tiffany looked really good. I thought she took so many bumps.
Star in the making.
She looked amazing to me. Like, I already liked her a lot, and now I'm like, dude, she's legit. So that's it. That's all I gotta say.
For sure. All right. So it's Tiffy time. All right. Yeah, we all know you like her. So do we. You're not the only one in the world. All right. Moving on. Let's just go. That was not on the docket, but Angel was not here last week, so we let him get his shots in on his boy Bobby Lashley. But yeah. So thanks for that. Anyway, so let's just move on to the hottest story in pro wrestling. It seems as though every week we're starting with the Bloodline, but once again, it is the hottest story in pro wrestling leading up to WrestleMania. So a few things for this week, the Bloodline. Number one, if you count all The Rock's promos, we had an hour worth of promos this week from The Rock that I could have just lived without. But I digress. Whatever. So did you guys watch The Rock's ridiculous YouTube promo?
I loved it. I was at the gym when I'm dying on the elliptical as I'm listening to The Rock and he's doing his thing. And at the very end of at least the YouTube one, I enjoyed that. And ultimately, the SmackDown stuff, I was getting really upset because it kept cutting out. And ultimately, I thought it was the Wi-Fi because I was watching it. And I started blaming my wife because she was messing around on her phone. And ultimately, I come to find out that wasn't the case.
Nah. Yeah, it's some fan had a stupid sign out there. So I'm actually shocked that they didn't take it away because every time I've gone to, any type of AEW show or WWE show, like unless you're a kid, they're taking those signs away. So
it's Die Rocky Die. That's one of his legendary comments from when The Rock was born.
Since you brought that up, I just have to say, like, I don't know, since I think it happened to Dominic, I guess they're like flipping him off when he was leaving. What match was it? When he was leaving and they kept cutting it out. I can't remember now what he was part of. Oh, when he got kicked out of the was it the tag team titles match? He got kicked out.
In Perth? Okay.
Yeah, he got kicked out and they kept flipping him off and they kept cutting it out. But it's like, bro, a paid event, like, or a premiere event, whatever you want to call it, like this is okay, fine. Raw, like USA or Fox, whatever, so be it. But like, why is the premiere event being cut out? Because of people flipping them off or whatever the case may be. Like, we're paying for this or whatever. Like, I just don't understand why this is happening so much. I don't know. It just seems like it's happening every show now. It's kind of annoying. I don't like this whole cutout censoring thing.
But and we were supposed to be out of the PG era. Remember that?
Yeah. So I just don't like it.
Yeah. But anyway, so The Rock's ridiculous promo. He also took 42 minutes to start SmackDown to essentially, in my opinion, do the exact same thing he did his last SmackDown promo, which was get cheap heat from talking shit to the crowd, telling everybody that they're meth heads and crack whores and whatever the else you wanted to say. But I mean, what did you guys think of that whole promo? And yeah, let's hear your thoughts about it. Angel, you go first, man.
Yeah, I didn't see much of the YouTube one. I think I watched like 5 minutes of it, and I was just like bored. He started pulling.
So was Cody. Sorry.
Yeah, he started pulling podcasts talking crap about him. Yeah, I think it was
Busted Open
Busted Open Radio. Busted Open Radio.
Yeah. And that was actually a while ago. I had seen that clip a while ago. He just pulled that out, but I think that clip happened back way before, obviously, when Cody announced what he's really going to do.
Yeah.
But anyways, he pulled that out from forever ago, and he started, complaining about that, and like he's trying to make it him against the world. I don't mind the heel side of him. You're calling it cheap heat. I mean, I feel like The Rock has always just been a cheap pop guy, though. Like the gimmicks, the making fun of everyone, the witty comments. I feel like now he's yeah.
So since you're talking about the cheap heat, I'm only saying cheap heat is because he did it again for back-to-back promo. Like you did it 2 weeks ago and then you did it again. That's all I'm saying. But go on.
No, for sure. I just think like we're seeing it more now. I feel like back in the day he was more, off the top of the dome ad-libbing. Now I feel like his stuff's more like, I don't know, scripted almost, like he's writing this stuff down more nowadays.
I feel like it's more scripted and it's also just repurposed. Like he does a lot of things from the past because it's The Rock, which is why Seth Rollins always takes his shots like, oh, he doesn't have any new material and all that good stuff because it's all the same.
Sure. So, for sure. I'm loving Seth right now, by the way. I'm loving Seth and what he's doing, but we'll get to that later. Rocky, his promo, like I said, I didn't see too much of the YouTube one. I didn't mind the SmackDown one. It got cut out a lot, which pissed me off. So I missed. We all missed something.
Pissed the whole world. So not just you.
Yeah, exactly. We're all kind of upset about that. But of what we did get to see, I liked the parts that Roman didn't look too happy him coming out. I liked that there's some, Game of Thrones stuff going on here. We don't know who knows what's going on, who's really an ally, who's really not. For the show, they seem like they're working together, but they don't even know who's really who. It's like reading between the lines with them. I like this vibe with it. He had some funny comments about Solo and stuff. I thought it was kind of funny. But I like this middle ground he's taking. Not middle ground. He's definitely a heel, and he's with the bloodline. He's still, when he first comes out, he's a face. And then by the time he gets to the ring, he starts talking to everybody so sourly that he flips the script. But you see when he comes out, he's like, oh, I miss being the old Rocky that everybody cheered for. Anyways, I'm excited that he's taking this approach, though. He needs to slow down a little bit with, making fun of the Cody crybabies every single time, like you said. But the promo was okay. I liked what Roman did a lot. I liked that he cut him off, told him to acknowledge him. The Rock acknowledged him. And,
did he? Did he, though?
Yeah.
Did he, though?
I know. So The Rock acknowledged him. But, yeah, I thought it was a interesting segment. At least he shows up. And at least he's, every week almost now. Like,
I mean, you have to. It's WrestleMania season. If you don't show up for WrestleMania season, bro, then I mean, like, what are you doing?
You're on the board.
There?
You can show up once a year if you feel like.
What are you doing there? I mean, I don't know. Gonzo, what'd you think?
I'll be short to it. I mean, ultimately, if you fast forward, like I had the ability to, since I watched it a day later, it was only 35 minutes instead of the 42. So I can only imagine that watching in real time was like. But I'll be short. The ability to go to Roman then, acknowledge me, I was waiting for that. I really was. And so I was very pleased to finally get that payoff. And yeah, towards the end, he's kind of doing the thing with his hand, kind of the Ricky Bobby. I'm not quite sure what to do. And then Paul Heyman even caught him as he was, trying to throw up the one. But that part of it was a good payoff for me. I did like the insults. I enjoyed the comments, the Versace shirt. So to me, I've always enjoyed that about The Rock. That's why I've enjoyed it for so long. And so, but if we're doing the story building, acknowledge me. It takes him a little bit to even do that. He stares him down, right? It's building to that moment. You're not quite sure what Rocky's going to do. And I liked how it finished, definitely. So
there's just a few things I want to point out of the hour worth of promos between The Rock and the Bloodline. So the YouTube promo, I'm not going to harp too much on it, but I had a real problem with poor Seth Rollins getting buried yet again. as well as the what do they call it in Vegas? The loser bracket championship is what they call it. So The Rock literally buries him again, saying number one, the Netflix deal that they didn't give a shit about Seth Rollins, that the only thing they cared about is who was going to be the Universal Champion, which basically just tells Seth he ain't shit once again. And the fact that he has the power using
the clown emoji, the walking clown emoji,
the walking clown emoji, and the fact that he has the power to take away the World Heavyweight Championship at any time. That I did like. I just didn't like the fact that they just didn't care about it. So did he mean like I could just take it away and then all of a sudden that title's no longer there because he's on the board? Or did he say that he could just take it away, meaning like someone from the bloodline will take it and all of a sudden the bloodline have all the titles? Which is both parts I really don't hate, to be honest, because, I hate having two separate championships. But at the same time, I also like the fact that it did say that, oh, well, the bloodline is so powerful, we can just take that shit away. We allow you to be champion. So maybe that's just me reading too much into it or not. I don't know. But I just don't like the fact that championship just keeps getting buried, because it makes me be like, why do I care?
Well, that's where I'll come in, because you've got Monday night where Seth comes out, he talks to Drew McIntyre, and McIntyre tells him the reasoning as to why you need to stay out of this whole ridiculousness, right? And then, of course, Seth will say, no, I need to. Ultimately, it needs to be stopped now versus at some point down the road. And when The Rock was talking about taking the title away and I'm on the board and no one else is my superior and I can do basically whatever I want, I'm thinking to myself, I was like, wow, here's the challenge. It's going to be a tag match that The Rock presented, of course, to Cody. Seth and Cody versus Rock and Roman, night one. And if they win, here's the stipulation. There's no bloodline that will get involved. However, if you don't do it, they give the stipulation that we can do whatever we want, right? More threats about how they're going to interfere. I'm thinking, I said, well, what is Drew McIntyre actually going to say in response to this now, right? Because he is the savior of WrestleMania. And he, again, is trying to add legitimacy to that title.
He won't.
And whether he does or he doesn't, this is all the story that Drew is ultimately wanting people to stay in their lane, right? To make this about the importance of fill in the blank. And Rollins is going a different direction, taking away, and he's getting distracted. So it's making me want to hear what Drew has to say even more. And I like that. I mean, overall, we're getting some additional tie-ins now.
We are. So since we're on it, The Rock declines Cody's one-on-one challenge. Says he ain't worth it, and counter offers with the tag match. So we've all been saying that that's the way that Rock gets inserted. It's not official yet, but it's pretty much going to be official. So Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins versus The Rock and Roman Reigns, or otherwise known as the Bloodline. The stipulation. So if they win, if Seth and Cody win, the Bloodline is banned from ringside for Cody's match the following night. But if they lose, it's a Bloodline rules match, which is just another term for anything goes, whatever they want to do, street fight, whatever you want to call it.
No holds barred in our days. No holds barred.
Hardcore match, no holds barred, extreme rules, whatever you want to call it. That's what it's going to be. What do you guys think about that? Do you guys like having them taking the main event of night one from someone such as Rhea Ripley, or even the World Heavyweight Championship being main event?
So really quick, you're assuming that it's the main event?
Guarantee it, 100%.
Off your opinion, though, that wasn't like
opinion.
off your opinion. Okay, all right,
but 100% guarantee it. It's gonna happen. So if it books this way, this is how I would see it. So that would end night one of WrestleMania. Night two would open Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre, because the main event's going to be Cody and Roman Reigns. Or they're either going to open, either Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre is going to open night one, or they're going to open night two. But I feel like at that point, if you're going to make this tag team match main event night one, then you got to put Rhea Ripley opening night one. You have to. So, but like I said, you pretty much ruin a whole bunch of booking, in my opinion, of giving somebody else that spotlight, because The Rock's just inserting himself. But I could be wrong. It could be opening a show and I could be just talking out of my ass, but we don't know. But I mean, last year, the Bloodline main evented both night one and night two, and the tag match, I feel like, would do the same thing. So, but we shall see. My whole thing is what do you guys are you guys cool with this? Not because of the storyline sense, but Seth Rollins isn't even 100%. So this guy has to fight not 100%, I'm assuming, versus Drew McIntyre, and then you're going to risk him fighting again in a tag match or even before the match, depending on how you book it. Like, is this a smart move? What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Angel.
Somebody?
Nobody.
All right. If you want me to go first. I mean, I guess you're right that it did happen last year a little bit. I think with the split brands, the split titles, all this other stuff going on with the shows, I mean, I'm not a fan of the idea of doing that again. Or like, I think you gotta front and center your other stars too. I get that this is the biggest story. I get that this is the most eyes will be viewed on when these guys are doing their thing. Rock, Roman, Cody, Seth, whatever. But I don't know. I mean, you're putting asleep everything else around it, or burying, whatever you want to call it. But I mean, Rhea's so big right now. I know her match with Becky isn't like the biggest draw right now for us. Like, we're not super excited about it, but it's still a big event
for us. But everyone else is, because everyone calls Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley the Stone Cold and the Rock of the women of this generation.
Sure, I mean, sure, that's fine. Yeah, either way, like, I still think they should be, up and put up to the front here. I'm not a big fan of the idea of doing it night 1, night 2, and then the whole night 1, night 2 thing. Like, what if Cody tears his ACL? What if Roman breaks his arm?
What if Seth Rollins hurts himself again?
Right, exactly. And Cody, I don't know. I'm not understanding it. I'd rather just see them do it. I don't know. The idea I had where there was just both titles on the line, but I guess McIntyre is now involved, so they can't do it anymore. But I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it. I wanted to see all four of them together, but I'm not a fan of it.
I feel like it's just too much too quickly.
It didn't work out. Yeah, it didn't work out the way I thought it could have, and now they're making it this double event. Endgame 1 and Endgame 2, or like back to back. Like, I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. I wish it would worked out a little bit differently. I like the idea of them tag teaming against each other, but WrestleMania night 1, night 2, I don't know if I'm a fan of it.
All right. So lastly, before we move on from the Bloodline, because they usually take up a good chunk of our time. So at the end, everyone absolutely lost their minds that Roman Reigns made The Rock acknowledge him, myself included. I thought it was amazing. It made Roman look so strong because everyone knows The Rock is the biggest star in that family, no matter what, hands down. But we talked about 2 weeks ago when you were on here, Angel, where The Rock first acknowledged the Bloodline and he did the L. But this time, he acknowledged the Bloodline, but this time the thumb was moving. It came in for a couple seconds, and it came out for a couple seconds, and then
it went back in.
And then it went back in. So now everyone's losing their minds. Now clearly this was done on purpose. You got Paul Heyman with his stupid freaking face, like, looking at him. What does this mean? So remember back when Cody says, I'm going to take everything from you, right? Do you think that The Rock is doing this to help Cody? Do you think this is just leading to a Rock and Roman match eventually? Do you think The Rock helps Cody in some way? What is this L thing? This is clearly done on purpose. All right. The Rock's not stupid. He knows how to put up a 1. Right? So this is clearly, we didn't know at first, but now it was done because he moved it out, moved it in.
It could be that The Rock is just trying to throw up the U. I mean, he is from the U. That could just be muscle memory at this point.
I don't know. Could this be? I have to go back and look. Was he pointing at Roman? Like, was this pointing somewhere else? Is this the significance where we're gonna lose? Is this like, or is everyone just playing too much?
Or is he just senile and he's old and he doesn't really give a shit what he's doing?
Could be. Or is The Rock just messing with everyone? All the Cody crybabies, like, hey, look at me, I'm doing this, and you guys are gonna talk about it for no reason. Like,
no. Paul Heyman's seen it this time. It's all, again, this is, at some point, it's going to be.
Paul Heyman really saw it, though? I mean, you're literally.
He saw it? You didn't see his face?
I saw his face, but I mean, his angle, was it perfectly at the L? I mean, he could have been looking. I don't know, bro. I'm not buying it yet.
I don't know what's going on. Lost. Thanks for joining. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, this is definitely pretty significant, though. He moved it this time.
I think you guys are. I think
it's not an accident. It's not an accident.
Diving a little too deep here on the
maybe,
the
but all right, that ends the bloodline. So L for love. That's right, L for love. Last. All right. So let's move on to everyone's favorite heel right now, Drew McIntyre, and how much he's a freaking absolute savage. So backstage, he had a lot of good moments here. Backstage, he basically tells Jay he deserves what happened last week when his brother beat his ass.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Then when he's dropping a promo, he sits like CM Punk in the center of the ring, crossing his legs. I mean, there's just a whole bunch of... He's on fire right now, man.
All this with a ruptured eardrum.
So one thing is for sure. So backstage, he's talking with Seth. He's pleading with Seth to back off with Cody Rhodes. Stresses that the bloodline needs to be eradicated, and if Seth Rollins is still involved, that maybe that might cost him. I don't think it's going to cost him. I'm going to ask you guys this question. Does Punk cost McIntyre the championship? Is McIntyre dubbed to lose this match, or does something happen immediately? There's got to be a Punk involvement. I mean, he's calling out Punk every week with shirts, working out with triceps, sitting down. Like, what's going on here, dude? Like, what's the end game with this?
CM Punk is supposed to be on this upcoming Monday of Monday Night Raw. I know that.
There we go. Okay.
It's either this Monday or one of the following Mondays, getting closer to Mania. So, because I think it's this Monday, they're already sold out. They already made that announcement, and that could be where I think Punk is going to be televised.
Angel, what do you think? What's going on?
That's a cool idea. I don't know. I kind of, you're asking me today, so I have to answer what I think today. Today, I think Seth's going to lose the title to McIntyre. I feel like Seth versus Punk, that heat has just died because of the whole bloodline shift that Seth has taken.
Really?
He doesn't even he doesn't even talk about Punk. It's not even an idea. He's literally losing focus on what he has, and he's literally, I don't want to say he's like not carrying or bearing his own title, but at this point he's carrying so much more, and he has a point at the same time, but he's going to lose focus. Like McIntyre's showing him, like, you're losing too much focus on what you have to deal with about them. And Seth literally said, it's worth it if you take the title from, he literally said, even if you win the title from me, it's not going to matter because they're just going to come and steal it from you right after, because that's what they do. They're going to take over this whole business, which, yes, Seth is right in that regard. But now at this point, if we're just talking the World Championship or the World Heavyweight Championship, you're looking at Seth being distracted. You're looking at Drew taking this title because his heat is crazy. And you're looking at the promos with Punk. You're just looking at like a SummerSlam Punk return, match. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen here. So it's just what they're building up to. It makes total sense to me right now. I don't even think there's an option.
Gonzo?
I wish I could sit cross-legged right now in the middle of my floor and say, let's take a second to acknowledge a couple things. But no, I like, Mark, how the possibility of Punk interfering and costing Drew McIntyre that title. I like that idea. I really do, because there's definitely a lot that Punk is going to have to throw back at Drew at some point. I don't know if you do it so soon. It'd be cool to see. But then again, do you keep building and building, and you at some point introduce Punk and you're going to have it? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't need to be done right now, because the way that the story is playing out, they're trying to bring some type of relevancy back to that title. You've got the others that are completely destroying it, and then Drew is on this savior, right? I am going to do all of these wonderful things. I'm more intrigued in the bloodline / Drew McIntyre wanting to be the savior of whatever it is that he's trying to save. And the Punk, that can come at another time. That can be, after Mania.
I mean, it could come at another time. Just to combat Angel here, he has been talking about CM Punk, bro. Even if he doesn't say,
Seth?
hey, no, I'm talking about Drew McIntyre. I mean,
I was talking about Seth.
Oh, okay. Well, like I said, I mean, he's still involved in some capacity, always, no matter what.
I said Seth hasn't talked about Punk at all. Drew talks about it every week. That's why Seth is going to lose the title. He's not paid attention to his own.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that, but like what I'm saying is that with Drew McIntyre can't keep CM Punk out of his mouth, whether it be doing his workouts, sitting, wearing a freaking shirt that looks like a $2, like the freaking Great Britain freaking
hey
like,
now
terrible shirt, but I got it anyway. But like it's like, dude, it's I feel like at some point he's bringing him up so much. CM Punk has to be involved in WrestleMania in some way, and I really don't think either of them are walking out with the World Heavyweight Championship anyway. I still think Drew McIntyre is the one, but maybe not. Maybe not.
There's a lot of ways this is gonna go with Drew. I mean, it could literally go the way I'm saying it. It could go the way you're saying, where Punk interferes and Seth somehow keeps his title. You know, I don't know. Real quick, we're looking at Seth in 3 matches at WrestleMania, by the way. Is that right? 3 matches for Seth?
2.
Or no, 2 matches.
2.
Well, he's going to be involved in the last match, though. Like, he has to protect the Shield.
Oh, you mean
he's
like,
the Shield.
like one of the protectors? Yeah.
Yeah, he's in 3 matches, bro.
Yeah.
And then, okay. And then, so this is how I'm looking at it right now. It looks like there's recruitment going on, right? Like, you saw Paul recruiting Austin
Grayson
Theory
Waller
and Grayson, right? You see them. They're calling Drew a hypocrite right now because he's been benefiting from the Bloodline's antics, right? And he used to talk garbage about all this and telling Cody, oh, you can't do this, or they screwed you last year, blah blah blah. So I don't know. Can we see like a Drew joining the Bloodline, inadvertently, not directly, but like, the enemy of my enemy is my friend type vibes, and then Punk comes back, he joins Cody and Seth, even though he hates Seth. We don't know. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of different ways this is becoming like a civil war in WWE. You know what I mean? And you can see a lot of Triple H is now like, oh, he's gonna come out and stop The Rock from doing his thing. You know what I mean? Like, people are cheering for Paul to come out and join into this. So there's a lot of like civil war going on here, choosing sides, picking a side, recruitment.
It's funny that you've said this, recruiting, right? I'm gonna go a little out of the WWE here. So we have 2 family affiliates that their contracts are up. One and both of them are from MLW. All right. Most notably, Tama Tonga, who is the son of Haku. He has reportedly signed a deal with the WWE, and it's a non-developmental deal. So could the Bloodline be adding more to the Bloodline come WrestleMania? Because all reports are saying, hey, it's Cody's time to leave. Or not Cody, I'm sorry, excuse me. Wow. It's Roman Reigns' time to leave. So everyone's saying once Roman Reigns loses the title, if and when he loses the championship, assuming he does, that he's going to take extensive time off. But the Bloodline.
When you say leave, you mean time off, not leaving the company.
Not leaving the company. Okay. I'll reiterate that. So with Tonga signing and everyone saying there's going to be more actual Bloodline affiliates coming from other indie scenes, they want to keep the Bloodline alive on the main roster without Roman Reigns, and that's part of it. So he could either use something where they help Roman Reigns retain, which if they do, dude, they're going to have a war in the stands, but we'll see what happens. But if they don't, the Bloodline's still going to remain. So I find it very interesting that you said that they're recruiting on both sides.
Right. I mean, look at where the WWE is right now. Did you see Judgment Day talk to Imperium? You saw they said they want more gold. Rhea has got the title. They got the tag team titles. Dominic wants another title. He lost the one he had. We're looking at these factions trying to dominate either their show or the whole business now. So the Bloodline needs they could pick up Nia, right? She's part of the Bloodline, isn't she? Or no? Am I mistaken here?
Yeah, no, you're not mistaken. I don't know as to how or who's cousins with who.
Right.
I have no.
It's just an option. I'm just saying, like they can start tackling the women's division the same way the Judgment Day has tackled multiple divisions here. So it's just an idea that like the way the WWE is going, it's like these groups are trying to take total power over the shows.
So, all right. So let's get out of this Bloodline talk. Let's get completely out of it. So speaking of factions, we got Gunther and Imperium. They were my favorite faction coming up from the NXT. Gunther is looking for a WrestleMania opponent. There's been talks. It not talks, but it looks like Dominic Mysterio is trying to make some claims there. Chad Gable making some claims there. There's been heavy rumors that Sheamus is coming back. Please leave that out of it. Whole bunch of different things.
Sami
Zayn, which probably would be my logical choice to be honest, but whatever. So now they're looking for a WrestleMania opponent for Gunther. This is something that scares me that I wanted to bring this up. As soon as I saw it, Gunther said when all of Judgment Day was there, well, it looks like you're not cashing in that briefcase on me. So what are you guys doing out here? That number one confirms that the Money in the Bank briefcase is still in play and can be cashed on anyone. Jesus Christ. What are the chances they do it again with Damian Priest on Gunther?
They're gonna. It's already done.
Oh my God, you think so?
Sign it, deliver it. It's done. There's too much going on with the two titles now. It's too intertwined with these people that we've just been talking about. So it's done.
David?
Yeah, I see. Yeah, it's done.
I don't care about Damian Priest, so
no.
Honestly, that was a waste of time on that show for him to come out. I was very displeased. I didn't want him there. I was hoping for someone else. And to be honest with you, Damian Priest on the mic, he doesn't sound good. So, I mean, very lackadaisical. I could care less. How about Gunther goes against Logan Paul? How about that? How about we actually bring that title off of Logan?
Angel,
so
can I mute this kid? Is that okay? Or like,
Logan? I like Logan, but you're totally wrong. There's no way. Logan already has a title. Why does he need two?
Logan is being slated to either face Kevin Owens or Randy Orton, number one.
Or both.
Or even both, which I would love to love. I love me some triple threats, But the fact that you're not giving Damian Priest his flowers, what are you doing? Are we watching the same? I don't get it, man. Like Damian
he literally talks for all of them. He talks for all of them. It's because he hates Mysterio too. He hates the whole group. Like he doesn't even like Rhea.
What's up, Derek? Logan is a super duper star. I agree, he is. I mean, I'm not
talking down about Logan. I'm just saying Damian deserves something here.
That
whole group doesn't even talk.
I respectfully 1,000,000,000% disagree with you on your opinion on Damian Priest.
Does Finn Balor cut promos?
Yeah, but not good ones.
Yeah.
But I mean, man, bro, like I'm sorry, man, but I feel like you're way off when it comes to Damian Priest. Damian Priest is a star, man.
That's fine. He is not in that segment. I could care less of him in that segment. I don't want him in that.
But that's not what you said. That's not what you said. You said I could care less about Damian Priest. That's
correct. In that segment, I didn't want to see him in that segment.
Name your Gunther besides Logan. Can you name another one?
No,
is there another one?
We can't speak about him because he's doing terrible things right now and can't be uttered in WWE right now.
Huh?
Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar was possibly slated to be in a position to possibly go against Gunther and possibly take away that title. But again, those plans are now scrapped.
Angel is asking you a question. Gunther needs a WrestleMania opponent. Who can be his WrestleMania opponent? That's what he's asking you. We're not talking about he who cannot be named. And like, man,
the guy that shows up for SmackDown once every 4 months and wrestled once.
Gabler, I think maybe Chad Gable at this point. I hope not, but
there isn't anyone right now.
Absolutely not. R-Truth.
I love R-Truth, but he's not.
Absolutely
at this moment
at
in time,
WrestleMania,
there isn't anyone on the roster. That's my whole thing. Like, I don't care about that.
Braun Breaker, just shoot him up straight to Gunther.
I mean, they might as well. First of all, that was my prediction to begin with, but they might as well.
You're right.
Because considering since Cody Rhodes fought Grayson Waller on Raw and Grayson Waller's a SmackDown superstar, they could do whatever the hell they want. So I mean,
I did not understand that match at all. That was really weird.
But anyway, I'm not gonna go into too detail on that one. But I mean, Gunther needs a WrestleMania opponent right now. I think the most logical choice, because they didn't put Braun Breaker, is unfortunately Sheamus, because they still have a third match that needs to be done. They have a rubber match that needs to happen. So I mean, who knows? I personally don't want to do it, but I feel like it makes the most sense. But I mean, the whole thing why I wanted to talk about this segment was the whole Money in the Bank briefcase. Like David just shitting on Damian Priest was something I did not expect whatsoever. But whatever. I mean, everyone's entitled to their own opinions. I think it's way off. And I mean, you could have, I would have shut up if you went after Finn Balor. But I mean, Damian Priest, I mean, I don't know. I like the whole Dominic Mysterio stepping to him. I think that would be pretty cool. You need to find some way to make Dominic Mysterio to stay hot. I think that would be something. But I mean, I don't know. My whole thing was, like I said, bringing this up is I just hope that Damian Priest does not cash in, because that whole cashing in on any title was a disaster with Austin Theory. Look what it did for him. They have no direction with Austin Theory at this moment.
Yeah, he's dead.
So it's like, I don't know. But that's just moving on. I mean, me and David and you are going to have to talk more about his Damian Priest hit later.
There's no direction right now for that title. Hence the reason why I don't care about it. And I don't want to see Damian in that slot. I want Damian actually.
There's no direction for the
that's
title.
Not what you said. That's not what you said. You said, I don't care about Damian Priest. And then
you both were too much in shock and awe in that moment to even allow for further discussion.
I will clip
it. You just don't like where the title's at, and you don't like that Damian's the one they're putting up against him for WrestleMania. You don't like that.
I don't like that. I don't like him in that spot. I feel Damian needs to go a different direction.
Don't say I don't care about Damian Priest. Then say that.
So if he was facing Logan Paul, you'd be happy with Damian?
Who's facing Logan Paul?
No, if Damian was to be the one.
No,
instead of KO.
No, David wanted the freaking IC in the United States to be like unified. That's what he wanted.
Okay.
Again, there's no direction for that title for Gunther. So I mean, they don't know what they're doing just yet.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. All right. Let's calm it down here. Let's have some fun. All right, because I felt like that went really off on that one. So we're gonna play a game like Push Berry Fire. Let's get some laughter in here. Let's go that route, because it's getting a little serious. You're attacking my boy Damian Priest. So
that's why you got me on this show right now.
Push Berry Fire, guys. It's a fun game where we choose 3 random wrestlers, teams, factions, whatever you want to do. We choose 3 wrestlers that we put against each other, and we're gonna push Berry or fire them. So we do have a request. So we're gonna do the request first. So our boy Derek the Guy requested a specific Push Berry Fire. While you guys think of yours, give me 1 second. All right, so this is what we're all gonna do this one before we give each other ours. Okay, so let's just do his. So once again, guys, if you guys see these clips on any of our social media, feel free to comment, and we'll definitely put it on our show for you guys. So this one was requested by Derek the Guy. Thanks for your support, and we're gonna do it for you. So guys, we're gonna Push Berry Fire the New Day, which is Kofi Kingston, Big E Langston, and Xavier Woods. That is our Push Berry Fire from our fan, Derek the Guy. Whoever wants to go first, go right ahead. So once again, Push Berry Fire, the New Day, Kofi Kingston, Big E, and Xavier Woods.
Can I go first?
Yes, you can.
I'm pushing Kofi, burying Xavier, and firing Big E.
Oh, wow.
Man's got a broken neck, and you just want to completely let him go.
Yeah, I don't care.
Everyone's completely healthy.
Yeah. Everyone's healthy. I'm still firing Big E.
Okay. All right. Gonzo, Push Berry Fire, the New Day.
I'm gonna fire Woods. I mean, as much as I love the Francesca, I gotta let him go, and I'm pushing Big E, and then I'm gonna bury Kofi.
Whoa.
Jamaican me crazy.
Mitchell says you're Jamaican him crazy. I agree with that statement. You are pushing Big E.
Big E. You hate that type of wrestler. That's not your wrestler type that you like to watch.
According to Derek the Kai, you're not a fan of big meaty men anyway. So,
wait, okay. Tell me how Big E is your push real quick. What do you enjoy about Big E?
The fact that he throws pancakes out of his underwear. It's perfect in his Superman cape.
Oh my god!
Okay. Your company's going.
You don't see those hip thrusts that he does.
Bankrupt. Yeah, you're losing your brand.
Yeah. Don't let me channel my inner Skip on you.
Please start a company against my company, please.
Right. That can be next. That can be next show.
Derek, my answer to your Push Berry Fire is going to be very simple. We are firing Xavier Woods because he can just go play video games all day. I'm burying Big E because I do like Big E. I think he's very mobile. I like him because I have the stigma of I hate big men, but I do like him, so I don't want him to be against me. And I'm pushing Kofi because Kofi Mania was absolutely awesome. That was an impromptu push, and they went with it, and it was absolutely fantastic. And the cereal Booty O's was absolutely terrible. Tried it, hated it, tasted like crap.
Kofi could hold any title. He can.
Derek, the guy hating on my boy Xavier Woods. Hey, you guys can go game together all you want on Up, Up, Down, Down. So go ahead, knock yourself out.
I like Xavier too. He loves anime and Dragon Ball Z and shit. But I mean, Kofi's better.
But it is what it is. All right. So now let's go to the regular push berry fire guys. Gonzo, you're gonna go first. Give it to Angel. What's he got?
That's fine. I was asking one of my buddies, and so this is actually a specific pushberry fire that was given to me that I wanted to air on tonight's show.
Okay.
And so here we go. We've got Dolph Ziggler, Mark Henry, and Sabu.
Dolph Ziggler, Mark Henry, and Sabu. Interesting. That's a random.
These are very different wrestlers. Like they're not even close to being even in the same weight classes.
Let's see what goes on AOK Gaming's.
You know what's funny about these three guys is I'm a fan of all three of these guys. I've always been a Mark Henry guy in ring, even outside of the ring. Like I've always been a Mark Henry dude, even though he's a big dude and he wasn't as mobile as most of the guys were into, like, you know, entertainment wise. He still was. I thought he was a great superstar. Dolph, I always thought was underrated. Never really got to get any pushes ever. When was Dolph ever pushed? I felt like
when he cashed in the Money in the Bank on Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah, Del Rio, and I guess that's a push. And then Sabu, you know, ECW. I mean, Hardcore Mania. Man, that's tough. I'm probably going to push Dolph because I think he has the most potential to be a face of a company.
He is on TNA.
Okay, there you go. He's already a face.
Go on.
But if we're talking WWE terms, but yeah, he could be a face of a company. This one's tough. I feel bad for whoever I bury at this, or whoever I fire at this point. I'm probably burying Henry just because I feel like he could be a factor in another company if they were to take him. Sabu could too as well. I guess, you know, it's like a coin flip here. I guess I'm going to bury Henry and fire Sabu, but it's not by much.
I'm going to fire Sabu, even though I love Sabu. But I'm only keeping Mark Henry on my roster because of the one promo that I loved. And that was when he had that fake retirement promo on John Cena.
That was awesome.
And then he absolutely destroyed Cena in the ring. And that was one of my favorite promos of all time.
Dude, there was a time where he was destroying everyone every week.
Yes.
He was on a rampage. Yeah. Like there was a good times for Mark Henry.
Yeah. But I'm with you. I'm pushing Dolph. So
yeah.
All right, Angel, your pushberry fire for moi.
For you, I have two. I think I'm gonna give you the women's division one I have though.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Since
women,
I know I got a little bit of information from Gonzo now. We'll see.
Okay.
The women's division one I got for you.
I don't know, dude. I don't know what that means. I don't know. But I guess we'll find out. Go on.
No, don't worry about it.
I'm worried.
All right. Whatever.
We got Bailey.
Okay.
We got Liv. We got Tiff.
Oh, damn it! Really? Oh, that's messed up. Because I already knew who I was firing, so Liv can go. I don't care. I don't get the appeal with
Liv.
Liv
Was kind of she's similar, but yeah, I get.
So I'm firing. Oh, I was about to push Bailey. I gotta think about this for a second. It is Tiffy time. I'm a big Bailey fan, dude. I love Bailey. I don't care what anyone says.
She's been so like ignored these past few weeks. It's pissed me off actually, and I'm not even a Bailey guy.
You know what? Screw it, man. I'm gonna push Tiffy time to the moon, bro, and I'm gonna bury Bailey. I'm gonna bury Bailey because Tiffy right now, dude, the way she performed at Elimination Chamber, just the Elimination Chamber alone, the way they are pushing her so far, they're booking her to perfection right now. Like I love her, so that's where I'm going. That was a good one. So yeah, I'm pushing time to the moon. I'm gonna bury Bailey because I don't want her used against me, and no one cares about Liv Morgan.
Gonzo, you actually like Tiff?
Oh yeah, I was insane last week. I was insane last week's show.
I thought you were gonna say that.
Sorry, Eric. I don't get the appeal with Liv Morgan. Sorry.
I actually like Liv. I'm a Liv guy. I don't. Her
I don't hate her. I just don't care. You know.
I think she could be decent, but it's just Tiff is just a better version of her, to be honest. But yeah.
All right, Gonzo. Your push berry fire. I got quite a few here. So you know how I like going old school, and we're gonna go old school in a sense with only one person. You're gonna push berry fire one person, and you could only have one gimmick for the rest of your life. You're either gonna push Mankind, you're either gonna bury Cactus Jack, or you're gonna fire Dude Love. The three faces of Foley, push berry fire.
Is it my time? Channeling my inner Skip Bayless right now.
It's your time.
It's Tiff's time. It's my Cactus time. Jack, it's perfect.
Dude Love.
Oh, that's really interesting. I like that.
You're welcome. That's why I'm cool.
Mankind, Cactus Jack, Dude Love. Well,
while you're thinking, Derek says, "Liv's my dog for real. Got her Funko and everything." All right.
Well, sorry, Derek. I don't like Liv either. I would have gotten rid of her as well.
Damn.
Well,
haters out here.
For the many faces of Foley, I'm gonna have to eliminate the gimmick of
Dude got to get fired. So let's see what David says.
Don't sleep on Dude Love.
That's what I'm saying, but you know.
Oh my God, because there's so much here.
The haters for real. We hanging in the chat. And mind you, you know,
this is really
you only get the one gimmick. You only get
the one. Really
there is no three faces of Foley. You get one face of Foley, and that's it.
True.
I just have to pick one. The other two just go off into the abyss to never come back.
You're burying one gimmick and you're firing the other, and you're pushing one gimmick. So that's what it is. Push berry fire. Push berry fire. Three faces of Foley. Who you got?
I mean, only one held the title, right?
Yeah, that was Mankind. So I mean, we got to get rid of Dude Love. As much as I love that whole dynamic of that gimmick, I was obsessed with that as a kid. I thought it was one of the funniest things growing up for sure. I love the song, the whole him walking out to that. It's comical. But no, we're gonna have to get rid of that one. That one was painful. I'm gonna have to bury the Mankind gimmick. I've always loved the Cactus Jack. That's ultimately how he himself got started, got known. And I mean, with Foley, he could have turned that into something else, because you could bury Mankind, but with Cactus and his charisma, those matches and those spots, we're going to have him get noticed regardless. And he could morph that into something else that he ever wanted to.
Okay. Angel, do you agree with his push berry fire?
I can see that. You know what? I'm thinking about it, and I'm wondering if he wasn't in the Attitude Era, would have Mankind stuck with Cactus Jack? If he was in a different era, like if he would have been like now, would Cactus Jack have been more of an option for him?
He could be Joe Gacy right now.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like he filled a void that was needed in the Attitude Era with Mankind, but now he could easily have been Cactus Jack and been a great superstar.
That's what I was saying.
It's an interesting one. I kind of agree with Gonzo a little bit there. I can't hate on it.
Okay,
but Mankind's obviously an all-time character.
Yeah, you came firing to hate on me tonight, so I mean, I'm ready for it.
All right, Gonzo. Now we're gonna go counterclockwise. Who do you got for me?
For you? Well, I'll give you this then. I'm gonna give you Legacy.
Oh, Cody Rhodes. Burying Mankind is out of pocket. Sorry, had to highlight that.
I'm gonna give you this one. We'll be quick. I'm gonna give you the faction of Legacy. Okay. Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and then DiBiase.
Firing DiBiase.
Yeah.
Because he's a criminal. I mean, he's a criminal. You guys know that, right? Okay.
You could have just stuck to it. You could have just stuck to his in-ring. But yeah,
right.
That too.
His in-ring. I don't care either. So exactly. So he's getting fired. This sucks.
The $1 million bum.
I'm just.
It's hard.
I'm gonna push Randy Orton, man. I'm sorry, and I'm gonna bury Cody Rhodes just because at least we know that Randy Orton is the superstar, and Cody Rhodes is finally coming into his own this past few years, and I'm gonna get a lot of hate.
Cody's career has been oof.
Tough. I mean, I don't really want to put Stardust on my show, so sorry. I'm pushing him anywhere. I'm gonna bury for later on in his career Cody Rhodes. So I'm gonna fire Ted DiBiase, the criminal. So yeah, there we go. Angel, moving on. I'm gonna give you your pushberry fire, your final pushberry fire of the night. Yeah. I'm gonna give you, so in honor of Sting's last match, which is tomorrow, guys, if you're gonna watch, I'm gonna give you some WCW legends here. Pushberry fire, WCW. We're gonna go Sting, Goldberg, and Booker T. Pushberry fire.
Yeah, I'm pushing Sting, burying Booker, and firing Goldberg.
Well, that was easy.
Didn't even break a sweat.
Yeah, okay. No, it's not even close. Booker T is actually a phenomenal superstar. Sting is just beyond him, the icon. I mean,
but we all loved Goldberg. You can't.
No, we don't.
We all loved Goldberg back in the day. We all.
No, I didn't. I did not love Goldberg.
Yes,
no, I didn't.
This guy.
Goldberg is the reason we have the Braun Breaker show every week now. The reason Brock Lesnar does it every week. The reason Ryback did it every week. The reason that this is the way we bring big guys up every week is because of this freaking guy.
Okay, but we're talking about Legends 90s. Nonsense. We're talking about 90s. We're not talking about what we know now.
That shit was boring. That was not fun. The jackhammer on nobodies.
Okay. All right.
These matches were boring. He kicked people in the face. He speared them. And then he jackhammered them. And then he had a pin in a 36-second match.
Do you like the gore?
Huh?
Do you like the gore?
The gore?
Yeah, the gore.
Rhino?
Yeah.
I like the gore, yeah.
Okay, so why do you hate on Goldberg? He did the same move.
I said it was boring.
It's the same move.
He's boring.
We didn't spear or gore people in David's pool all day, every day. We didn't say
what's that to do with Booker T and Sting, though? You're talking about
I agree.
You comparing to Booker T and Sting. No, you gave me the options that. Now, if you gave me,
I agree with
Diamond Dallas Page, then maybe I'd be like, oh, okay, I understand.
I agree. Like, I'm just saying.
You know what I mean? Like Sting and Booker T are all time.
I'm not mad at your choices. I'm mad at how quick you did it. I was like, okay, like, all right, well, whatever,
I mean, you gave me two options that are clear and above Goldberg. I'm sorry. So, Goldberg did nothing in WWE. He did.
Right.
His WCW run was just a gimmick. His win was the gimmick. Him winning all the time, that was the gimmick of it. He wasn't even an exciting character. Did he talk? What was his biggest promo? You remember Goldberg cutting real quick?
I don't remember.
Yeah, because he never did. He still has it. His biggest promos are him talking about.
Do you like Jade Cargill? Came for blood tonight.
Do you like Jade Cargill?
Blood tonight.
Do you like Jade Cargill?
Yeah, she's amazing.
Okay, cool. Because she only lost one time in AEW. Moving on. Same thing.
Okay.
And didn't drop a promo without having a manager to save her life. But
she's gonna be cutting promos soon. Don't worry. She's very raw.
Give Gonzo his final pushberry fire of the night.
Yeah, I got this. Anyways, the icon and Booker T are elite.
I agree with you. I'm just mad at the fact of how quickly you did it. That's all. But go on.
Yeah,
you're good. No problem.
All right, Gonzo. I wasn't trying to diss your options. It's just what I felt.
You're good.
Thanks. I have to channel all this rage now that's pointed towards me. Thanks.
You're good.
I don't have any rage.
Let's move on. Come
on. So Gonzo, I got we've been talking a lot about factions. We're not going to talk about the main one everybody is talking about. We're going to go Judgment Day, which you have your opinion. Imperium.
Okay.
And this third one I was doing a balancing act, but I'm going to go with the New Day since what you said earlier.
No problem. We're going to fire Imperium. Can't stand them. We're then going to bury the New Day, and then we're pushing Judgment Day.
I can't deal with this guy. He does shit just to troll and piss people off. Like, it's not even...
Wait. I didn't even hear the last part. Can you
Neither did I.
Can you? I was already laughing at the. Can you say who you're pushing, and then go from down, please?
I'm pushing Judgment Day. I'm burying New Day, and then we're getting rid of Imperium.
Wow. Just so you know, your job is in jeopardy because we just got a co-host request right here. Yeah, kick him out.
I'm free next week.
Yeah.
Derek.
Yeah. Check your DMs, my guy. Check your DMs, my guy.
Mommy is always on top.
Like,
give me mommy and R-Truth, and I'm fine. I am perfectly fine with that.
R-Truth, he was never in him. He was never in Judgment Day.
You asked R-Truth. You talk to R-Truth. He's gonna tell you
differently. Mommy hasn't been in Judgment Day in like 2 months.
Mommy doesn't even come out with the Judgment Day. I don't even know if she's even part of the Judgment Day, bro.
She says like 2
always on top.
To Dom and says, "All right, I'm out."
All right, this was a very, very eventful Pushberry Fire this evening.
This whole episode's been very eventful. Let's be real.
I want to go back to a comment though. I had another request and I saved it for last on purpose just because it should be quick. But this was a very interesting Pushberry Fire. I want to highlight it by the Muffin Man. He wants us to push Berry Fire finishing moves, which is pretty cool.
Cool idea, man.
That's a very cool idea, and I might even start stealing that. So just so you know, in future episodes, if you guys see us doing push Berry Fire moves, it's because of the Muffin Man. So, but he wants us to push Berry Fire, the Pedigree, the Tombstone Pile Driver, and the Stone Cold Stunner. Angel, we'll start with
choices. Great choices. That is extremely difficult. Those might be, besides like, wow. Those might be the best 3 that there's ever been, if you think about it. Wow. That is extremely difficult. I think you have to push the Stunner just because of the way it just went down during that time. The Stunner was just different. You know, when the Stunner came out, JR screamed and people were flipping all over the place. The Stunner's pushed. Oh, man, this is really difficult. I'm probably going to bury the Tombstone because it's still an iconic move that will definitely be tough to go against if it's somewhere else. And then I'm going to fire the Pedigree, but it is one of the greatest finishers of all time as well. Can't diss on it. So that's my opinion.
We're going to get rid of the Tombstone Pile Driver.
Okay.
As far as pushing Pedigree or the Stunner, it's got to be the Stunner for me because the Stunner can be hit on anybody. And it did, for the most part, it can be very similar to the RKO out of nowhere. The Pedigree, I feel like you have to have a specific look in order to do that move. Like, for example, Seth Rollins doing the Pedigree, that never worked for me. Never worked for me when he started doing that. The transition from the curb stomp, I could not, from a fan's perspective, believe that. So the Stunner, however, can be done big, small, mediocre. So for that reason alone, the Pedigree can still be done, where the Tombstone, I feel like you got to be a big, strong dude in order to do that too. And so that's where the limitations with the Tombstone are just for me. And also, I don't have knees, so just thinking about it just gives me pain.
Yo, nobody said you had to do it, Gonzo.
All right. I want to reiterate that this is a really cool idea. So thank you again, Muffin Man. Secondly, there's no wrong answers here because these moves are amazing.
I agree.
So that's why I'm not really arguing with anybody here because I like to argue. So I just want to put that out there. There's no wrong answers here. So I'm just gonna go based on what I like. And unfortunately, I'm gonna fire the Tombstone because out of those 3 finishers, special, whatever you want to call it, that's the one nowadays that is hit and people kick out of. And I hate that. I'm going to bury the Stunner because a lot of people currently do it. Not because I hate it, because we all know The Rock's ridiculous freaking self.
Who else does it besides KO?
Everyone in AEW, everyone in MLW, like everyone. Yeah, it's a very. It's not just. I'm not talking about WWE. I'm talking about just in a broader spectrum.
They do a Stunner or they do a cutter.
They do a Stunner. We're not talking about the cutter. Yeah, and that's the only reason why. Because obviously, like I said, I love the Stunner, and I'm pushing the Pedigree because no one does it.
Cody Rhodes.
Mm-hmm. So that's it. It's like it's very minimal on who does it, if anybody, and it's still a move that finishes, and I love it. That's the only reason. So go break a knee or something. You are pissing me off today. So
Cody Rhodes uses it. It doesn't end matches.
What match? Who do you use it on? Tell me.
I said it. He uses it in every match.
Who do you use it on? Tell me.
He did use it recently. I forgot who it was against, but he has used it. I've seen him use it.
It's part of his basic move set.
Pedro hates. Thanks, Pedro. He hates the Pedigree.
What? Really?
And Derek the guy says, our truth is definitely in the judgment day. Calm down, Angel.
Yeah. Okay.
Live, laugh, love.
Yeah, no, he's with Regeneration X, bro. What are you talking about?
Yeah. All right. So moving on, we still got a couple things left to talk about. That was really fun. Once again, thank you for that fun push, Fairy Fire. That was really cool. And it's going to definitely make me rethink for next week's episode. I can say that one. So start preparing, guys. Moving on, let's talk very little of NXT, not too much to harp on. So let's talk about the hottest story in NXT. Carmelo Hayes, Ilya Dragunov did a contract signing for next week, NXT Roadblock. Well, let's talk about it, man. What did you guys think of that? What do you guys think of my boy Tony D'Angelo entering the fold for the NXT Championship? My boy finally getting himself a faction, recruiting other people. What's going on? Is next week when Trick reemerges? Does he cost Carmelo the championship? Are we getting that stand and deliver the Don of NXT, Tony D'Angelo versus Ilya Dragunov? What's going on? Break it down, guys.
I'll ask you a question. Is that an odd placement to have the Don just inserted so close to WrestleMania season like that?
Nope. Because because I see where you're going. It's a good question. I don't think so because we're just finding out people who are getting champion. Like right now, a week ago, we just found out who's challenging Seth Rollins. It's around the same time frame, and you have to find some way to get Trick Mello to stand and deliver. That's the whole point, right? So you need someone else to insert themselves against Dragunov. So this is exactly. So this is a great way to do it because now I could pretty much guarantee there's going to be some type of shenanigans next week where Mello has to lose that number one contenders match against the Don, right? And who better to set up for stand and deliver? Trick Williams. If it goes that way. I think it's the obvious play, but at this point, it's your only play because Trick has still been off of TV. And plus, it's time for the Don to truly be the Don of NXT. The guy is a star.
So, Gentleman of Mary. Good for him.
So, Angel, what do you think of my boy, the Don?
I mean, yeah, I think you're right on. I mean, but everything you're saying makes sense. It's the only way they can go right now. Stand and deliver is obviously the most important thing in their eyes. This is why I don't like this season sometimes. This time period where you have to have these amazing matches for now stand and deliver and WrestleMania. As great as this event and this time of the year is, at the same time we get hit with these restrictions and these roadblocks. And I feel like the main roster has this issue right now because people can't actually face anyone. That's why you have these stupid matches like Grayson Waller, excuse me.
Grayson Allen plays basketball.
I know my Graysons. But yeah, you know what I mean? So like they have to get creative and they have to get, these types of situations with the contract and, so I think what you're saying is right on. This is what they're going to do now to get to stand and deliver. I think everything you said is 100% on. I really don't see another option. I really don't. I don't see how else it can go. I don't have another opinion about it, to be honest.
I mean, at this point, it has to be because Trick has been off of TV for so long. So how does Trick get back at Mello, costing him the championship, and then we lead to the final blow off at Stand and Deliver, and then the Don finally gets his flowers. He's finally getting a full faction. He's going to recruit Crucifino, the Italian-looking lawyer gimmick.
Yeah. The mob lawyer. It's gonna be
was
great.
Was that what it was? That's what it was, right?
Yeah.
Dude,
mobster.
I freaking love the family. Like, you have no clue how much I'm on this faction right now, and I just pray to God.
They've been losing.
Well, I mean, to set up for the Don going for the main title. Now he's going to add somebody to the faction, so now he doesn't have to be in the tag title scene because they'll add it on to the family.
They're going to face the bloodline, bro. Book it. We're going to make him go up to the bloodline.
I don't even care as long as he's in that main event title. I don't even care because I freaking love this gimmick. It's my favorite gimmick. Love it. But we're not gonna spend too much time on it. I think we're all in agreement that Trick has to reemerge next week now for sure. So we'll see how that goes.
He has to show up at some point, sometime.
It has to be now because unless they plan on using the championship to feud their feud, which doesn't make sense to me because that feud doesn't need a championship. to have that payoff, there's no other play. So, all right, moving on. I'm sure this is your guys' first look on this. This is why I kind of wanted to talk about it. The Heritage Cup match. So if you guys don't know what it is, if anybody doesn't really know what it is, I know not a lot of people like to watch NXT. Shame on you. It's a rules. You get 6 3-minute rounds, and the first to 2 victories wins the cup.
Something it's like real
different.
Wrestling.
It's exactly. It's something different. It is from NXT UK. It is pretty awesome. I actually really enjoy it just because of how different it is. But the story here, Charlie Dempsey, the son of William Regal, is the new Heritage Cup champion. What did you guys think of your first look at that type of match? I mean, maybe more so Angel. I think David's seen it here and there. But what do you guys think of that Heritage Cup match? Should that be something people implemented more in wrestling, or do you feel like it's just good for just what?
Yeah. I'm all for changing and going into these new opportunity matches where you can see different storylines that can develop from a match like this. You can have them, get disqualified and still win. You can have them show how they're so even. They go into the extra round. Something else happens. There's so many ways these matches can go. And it's just different. I'm tired of seeing, the no holds barred hardcore champion match that we see every week. Every time someone,
street fight, no holds barred
fight, yeah, what I mean,
unsectioned,
right? Get the tables, that stuff's fine. Put a cage around it; it's the same match. But if you get to change the rules a little bit, right? Like we don't see the I Quit matches anymore, like we had when we were growing up. You don't see the Iron Man match. You don't see these types of matches that with the rules change. Submission match, ultimate submission matches we used to have back in the day with, those guys. So I want some of that to come back. I want some of these matches that have different rules and different stipulations besides just getting a chair and a table and I win,
Agreed. David, what'd you think about the Heritage Cup?
I'll build off of what Angel said. I mean, because back in the day, 60-minute Iron Man matches, this identifies several of those matches, but just puts it at an accelerated pace, right? You have stipulation. Right. You could win in multiple ways.
Very good.
It's quick. It's to the point. And so that hits a lot of things for myself because you can't do 60-minute matches in today's, I mean, you're going to lose a lot of people, right?
Wait, but why not? You have The Rock out here doing 45-minute promos.
That's cinema.
Well, there was a commercial break.
Wrestling. Yeah, that added some additional 7 minutes to it. No, I do like the Heritage Cup. That was really cool to see because I, for the most part, wasn't quite sure what it was. And then as they explained it and went from there, I said, okay, I can definitely vibe with this.
Yeah. I really enjoy the Heritage Cup. I like where it's at right now. I would like to see it to be bigger because it was really big for the NXT UK brand before that folded. So that's really cool. I like it. Like Angel says, really different. So we'll see what happens. But the bigger story, like I said, Charlie Dempsey making us feel old. Yeah. Regal's son winning the cup. So hope you guys feel old.
Teacher.
So there's that.
Old.
Yeah,
but he's a great teacher in WWE. He's a great trainer. So
for sure. So all right. So last thing about NXT. Next week is one of those special episodes, like the kind of like how like AEW does. It's called NXT Roadblock. It's kind of like a pay-per-view for free type deal.
Baby pay-per-view, yeah.
Yeah, little PLE. So here we go. So far we got 4 confirmed matches. Let's just do a quick little prediction on what might happen. All right. So first and foremost, we got the NXT Championship #1 contenders match between Carmelo Hayes and my boy Tony D'Angelo. Who wins, guys?
D'Angelo goes over because Trick interferes.
Yeah, I think that's unanimous. Angel, how do you feel?
Yeah, I don't even think. Yeah, we don't have to talk about it.
Yeah,
we just did.
There we go. 100% unanimous decision. Trick's gonna interfere. And then I don't know what this is. This is another hardcore match for Angel.
Yeah,
this is
called the Asylum match.
This is called an Asylum match.
Just call it the
needles and pills. Gonna be great.
Yeah, if you bring out thumbtacks and stuff, let's just start calling it the Mankind.
So we got an Asylum
match.
An Asylum match between Dijak and Gacy. Who goes over?
Gacy.
Oh,
Dijak.
Oh, split.
I just want Dijak to win, to be honest.
I think Dijak wins, but it is still not over there. I think their feud ends at Stand and Deliver.
That's why I said Gacy's got to win this one because Dijak won the first one.
I don't know. Okay. It doesn't matter. I mean, Gacy's still after him. I mean,
I'm pushing for the sociopath. Let's go.
So, all right. Since that one's really quick to predict, any crazy prediction on what might happen, like as far as like a gimmick weapon, anything? Last time we had little small soldier toys. What do you guys think? It's an asylum match, right? So I feel like maybe straight jacket or
straight. He came out. There was a Gacy. Who came on the straight jacket? Was it Gacy?
Gacy.
Yeah, Gacy came out in the straight jacket. So I could see that probably being part of it. They'll still both start in it or something. Right. They got to get out of it.
Right. So next we have the WWE Women's Tag Team title match. The Kabuki Warriors coming to NXT to defend against Tatum Paxley and the NXT Women's Champion Valkyria. Who goes over? Anybody? Bueller? Anybody?
Wait, real quick. This is for the WWE
Women's Tag Team Champions. Women's Tag Team Championship match. Yes. Kabuki Warriors are defending against Tatum Paxley and Valkyria stalking Tatum Paxley and NXT Women's Champion Valkyria.
I mean, there's no shot the Kabuki Warriors lose these. They're not losing.
Angel or David?
Yeah, Kabuki goes over.
Yeah, there's no shot.
I think Paxley and Valkyria win.
Why?
Because I think they're pushing this stalker story, and WWE doesn't care about the women's tag team titles anyway. So, just to be different,
just stealing more heat from Bayley. Why does Bayley have to get screwed over?
Yeah. So, when it happens, you heard it here first.
David.
Last confirmed match here: the NXT Tag Team Title match between the Wolf, aka Mud Dogs, defending against Chase U. Who wins?
Mud Dogs, baby.
Yeah. Mud Dogs. Yeah, I unfortunately I agree with you. So, but we'll see. I think the Mud Dogs, Wolf Dogs win. But I feel like the Good Brothers or the OC, whatever you want to call them nowadays, will have another, beat down post match. Real quick, we got the barbed wire bat coming back. I can see that. We'll see I don't know if that's part of the Asylum Rules match.
Doesn't matter. It's all good. Someone's gonna get strapped up.
So they haven't said what. No one has said what the rules are. It's just
just said an asylum match. I don't know what that means.
What if it's like we had the what's the coffin match? Where they have to throw him in the coffin?
Casket match.
Oh, and you have to casket
match.
So do you think they have to?
You got to get him in the straight jacket.
Strap him in the straight jacket.
Yeah, you got to tie him up, and once he's tied up, you win. Yeah.
If that's the win, that'd be awesome.
Well, WWE's already had a body bag match. That was the Undertaker versus the Ultimate Warrior. So
yeah, something like that. I can see that.
Yeah, that would be cool. All right. So last thing, we're going into a segment we call Hot Tag. So if you guys ever seen PTI, we basically just run through this really quick. So first thing on the docket, we got the women in WWE being booked very well, as long as your name is not Naomi. So what do you guys think of the Rhea Ripley and Lynch? They're definitely punishing her. We'll get there. So the women WWE, like I said, being booked very well. We got Rhea Ripley and Lynch, I think, promoting well, regardless if us three actually like that match or not. I feel like they're doing a very good job. But I do want to note, Nia Jax is not being forgotten. What do you guys think of her involvement? Do you think maybe she gets inserted in that match, or what do you guys think?
Gonzo, go ahead.
No. I want to hear from Angel because I'm scared to even give an answer right now.
Is she gonna be inserted in that match? Absolutely.
Is it possibly? I mean, no. Okay, Gonzo, what do you think of the Nia Jax involvement?
It's nice, but I mean, they're not forgotten about her. So, I mean, they haven't killed all her momentum. So I do like that. And I'll just leave it at that.
Me too. I agree. Moving on. Tiffany Stratton absolutely being booked to perfection.
Tiffy time.
Right now.
Dude, that moonsault?
Oh, okay. Gonzo, Tiffy time. Love her, right?
Tiffy time.
All right. Let's talk about her opponent of this past week. We're gonna skip down real quick. Naomi, another one. Did she make a mistake returning to the WWE right now, guys?
She's paying her dues right now.
She didn't make a mistake, but she's got to bite the bullet for a little bit. Yeah.
Yep.
She'll get her time. She just has to keep She just has to keep going though and keep her mouth shut and doing her thing. But she'll come back. Like
I said, not spending too much time on this, but the fact that she did not get an on-screen entrance against Tiffy Time. That is,
we could blame Dwayne The Rock Johnson for that. So
that's probably what happened.
I hope so.
That's what happened.
That's a great point. I hope so, because if not,
that's Dwayne's fault.
That's what you do to jobbers, bro. That's
Dwayne almost took up an hour, so I'm blaming it definitely on Dwayne.
It was Dwayne.
Bailey's story on Damage Control. How do you like?
Thumbs
I love
up.
it. I hate that she's ignored every week. Besides, like,
I think that's a great statement. I think that's a great statement.
They don't do it enough.
Speaking of Damage Control, backstage, Jade Cargill on SmackDown staring down Io Sky.
Has she signed yet?
That's my question. Is she signing with SmackDown?
That's Bailey's muscle right now.
Think so?
Oh yeah.
Shield.
Okay.
She'll be her Shield.
That's right.
Okay.
Braun
Breaker being horribly booked on the main roster.
I can't stand
it. Was given a 6-second match. Are we dubbing this because of The Rock as well? Or do they have no idea what to do with him because he's another big guy doing the same intro booking to the main roster on
The Rock saved us. That would have been a 45-second match, and they changed it to 6 because of The Rock.
Right. I just want to note that Braun Breaker has already been established. You can't do this anymore where you have a big guy and you want to introduce him and you squash him.
You love Goldberg.
10 missions.
You love Goldberg.
I love Goldberg. I loved it.
Absolutely. But
yeah,
once
there's
again,
kids there's kids right now that when you were that age,
no one likes it. No one
are cheering for him like he's Goldberg and want to see him go 94-0 now.
No one,
because that's what it's been proven though. So that's what we're gonna do now.
Listen, Goldberg beat legit guys. Can you tell me the name of Braun Breaker's opponent without Googling right now?
Oh, dude, I had his name. Oh my god,
What's his name? What's his name? What's his name?
Because that guy was big as hell too. I was like, maybe we'll actually have a match. I'm like, maybe they'll actually get him.
Exactly.
Maybe he'll get speared.
my
I'm
point.
like, oh shit, he's gotta come back.
So your little point of trying to call me out on Goldberg is moot because at least Goldberg was doing it on named guys. He did it on a guy that you can't remember.
We're gonna move on. We'll save this for another hot take another day.
Let's go.
The LWO versus Legado del Fantasma. Do you care?
No.
I care more. But I don't know. Right now, I don't care.
All right. This is a big one for me, in my opinion. Shawn Spears, formerly Ty Dillinger in his former time in NXT.
The perfect 10.
Went to AEW, was not utilized, which is why he left.
What was his name in AEW?
Shawn Spears.
Shawn Spears.
It was Shawn Spears? Okay.
Yeah. So now he has returned, and they're allowing him to keep his own gimmick as the chairman. What do you guys think this time around? Is that a good sign, bad sign?
Oh, I'm glad he's there. I was actually pretty amazed that they allowed him to keep the Shawn Spears name. So that was pretty awesome to see.
Yeah, I mean, his time was probably forgettable in AEW. So we'll see. Part of the reason of him leaving NXT, though, was him not being utilized as potential. So hopefully this time around they'll do it. So we'll see what's going on. And
there's room for him to grow in NXT, so it's a good
100%. And lastly, this is not really WWE related, but he is part of the history. Tomorrow night is Sting's last match. It is a tag team match with the Young Bucks, unfortunately. But according to all reports, this is what Sting wanted. Kind of stupid in my opinion, but we're not talking about that match. We're going to talk about, can you guys just name, out of respect for Sting, your favorite Sting moment that you could recall?
Oh, when he's in the stands and he takes off the mask and he has the mask.
You just stole mine, you piece of garbage.
that's the best thing. That's the best Sting moment of all time. He does it twice. He does it once in the ring and he does it once when he's sitting in the stands.
Well, Gonzo, let me go before you go, since I could just piggyback off that one. So I absolutely love the recurring Sting in a Sting mask. They've been doing it for years. I mean, I want to recall when he was in TNA and he was challenging. I'm sorry, I'll tell you that guy off air. I'm sorry, when he was challenging Rob Van Dam for the TNA World Championship and he just shows up and comes out of the crowd. Hysterical. Then again, when he gives a Scorpion Deathlock, gave no fucks in the middle of the ring to Buff Bagwell when every person of the NWO was there. Everyone knew that it was Sting, and he's like, "Yeah, it's Sting, guys." Hysterical. Even his time in AEW, even though it's been just shoved down our throats, same deal. What he did against Scorpio Sky came out of nowhere. Scorpio's here taking pictures, and all of a sudden, hey, it's Sting, socks him in the face. I mean, Private Party again, just the Young Bucks last week. That's just an awesome thing.
Him in the stands is the best one though.
Yeah,
because he's just sitting there. And he takes all the passes.
Last week on Dynamite, when the Bucks came out, the Bucks had his bat, and everyone was wearing.
I saw that.
And he was just like lifting up. They were lifting up masks, and they lifted the wrong.
Is that when
one.
he came up from the top?
Yeah, he came out from the rafters,
and
but they used Darby instead. But I thought it was pretty funny. Gonzo, your favorite Sting moment for his retirement tomorrow? Anything that you can recall?
My favorite. I don't really recall anything again from the 80s, and then I grew up in the Attitude Era, so probably as a kid, it was amazing just seeing him descend with the zip line down to the ring. Just that whole mysterious mystique. I grew up also watching The Crow, so immediately, like without really understanding what The Crow was and then what Sting was, I thought it was the same person, kind of like crossing over. And again, the movie The Crow was pretty amazing back in the day. So again, I just didn't know that was Sting.
The new one's coming out actually. So.
It looks terrible.
Check that out. I don't care. I'm still gonna check it out. I'm still gonna check it out.
I'm gonna piggyback off you, Gonzo. There's another. I don't know if it was Starrcade. I can't remember which event it was. It might have been like Halloween Havoc or Starrcade, one of the WCW pay-per-views. They show him at the top of the arena just sitting there alone in the rafters, and then they zoom out. Mm-hmm. And it's the whole arena. It's just him up there by himself.
He's just standing there all stoic.
Yeah.
He's just like
stoic. Yep.
Yeah.
So fucking cool. So, those are cool moments.
Well, since you guys are enjoying this, I got two more honorable mentions that I tussled with. So recently, before Peacock got the rights to the WWE Network type deal, I was watching old school like WCW, WWE stuff, which I still can. I just stopped just because there's just so much I'm doing. But I don't know if Angel ever knew this, but me and Angel loved RoboCop. And when Sting,
I still love RoboCop.
Exactly. When Sting was Surfer Sting, he came out with fucking RoboCop.
I did see this. I've seen this. Yeah, I've seen this.
He came out with RoboCop, and when he was like the surfer,
he walked and everything.
I thought that was really cool. And then lastly, we're just gonna get a little emotional here. When he finally came to the WWE and he faced Triple H at WrestleMania, I thought it was really cool, even though he lost, which bullshit, but whatever. I thought it was really cool that you had DX come out and then you had NWO come out for Sting, just signifying the wars, going back. And I thought that was really cool. It's kind of like a full circle type moment.
It was a moment like all encapsulating the whole era in one match. Yeah.
So even though I felt as though they either should have had a no contest or I felt like Sting should have went over just because they finally brought him over. I mean, it was still a really cool moment, just highlighting our era that we grew up on. Right. So
even though I wasn't a big fan of NWO Sting, but it's still cool.
It was still cool. So so that's it, guys. That was our hot takes for the week. It's really sad. Sting's gonna retiring. If you guys do watch it, let me know. Your
is
boys
he though,
got,
or is it gonna be Ric Flair? And fight 18 more times.
He's always said once he says he calls it, man. So he's always been saying it. So we'll see. I mean, we shall see. Personally, I'm going to be honest. If the rumors are true that he wanted this tag match, it kind of sucks. So I'm kind of hoping that he doesn't retire and he's like, no, just kidding. But I mean, if this is how he wants to go out, then let him go out. So he says he wants to pull maybe, so it is what it is.
He's had a long career, so yeah.
So would have rather see him face, some like a callback, Taz or Jericho or, Jeff Jarrett, even Samoa Joe. There were so many TNA ties that they could have done, but it is what it is. If this is how he wants to go out, then that's how he wants to go out. And good for him. Congratulations. One of our favorite wrestlers of all time. So, it is what it is. All right, guys. So that is concluding episode 6 of the Smack Talk Wrestling Podcast. We want to thank you guys for joining. Gonzo, tell everybody where we can find you on all your social media.
Yeah, absolutely. As far as Instagram, going to be at Raising Personalities. That's also going to be something you can find me on TikTok as well. I'm on X, but the name will be a little bit different. It's as it's presented now with David_MA_LCPC. And so YouTube, that's where, again, just with the streaming of this podcast, you can find me there with some short clips in the future. So
cool. Angel, where can we find you?
You can find me mostly on Twitch, is where I stream live when gaming. I'm a video game streamer on Twitch. All my socials are at @a_OK gaming. You can find me on Twitch, TikTok, Facebook majority. You can find me on X as well. And you'll find I also post my VODs of my streaming on YouTube if you want to find me there. And everywhere else you'll find me with these guys. So
and what are we streaming nowadays?
It really depends. I'm variety right now. Catch me playing FC soccer, 2K with my cousin here, Mark. Playing Helldivers, playing Siege is probably my game that I've been playing for 10 years. Rainbow Six Siege. Catch me playing that a lot. Really competitive. Playing that. So depends what day it is. You'll catch me playing a lot of different things. Hopefully WWE soon. When does WWE drop, Mark? Do you remember? I can't remember.
I think like 2 weeks.
2 weeks? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be getting it, so you'll catch me playing that for sure. Probably with.
You're getting it for real?
Oh yeah, I'm getting it. Yeah.
Here we go.
I'm
Here we go.
it now. Yeah,
I heard it's going to be pretty amazing though. You're going to do 40 years of WrestleMania that you could replay. So I think this is really cool.
No, so, yeah, I'm getting it. So we'll figure some stuff out.
We're gonna have to figure out some co-streams here, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So everyone, you guys know where you can find me, pro_wrestling_kingpin on all social media except Facebook. I don't do the face. So yeah, I'll be posting clips. I also we're doing live pack openings. You can see that if you're into the wrestling cards. Speaking of wrestling cards, I recently guest starred on the Jelly Cards podcast. You can find that on iTunes and Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Excuse me, Jelly_cards. I forgot which episode it is, but it'll say featuring Pro Wrestling Kingpin. We have another episode. Actually, I'll be guest starring pretty soon about that in the near future as we get closer to WrestleMania. And also on Monday, I will be also guest starring on the No Holds Barred podcast, where we'll be talking about all of pro wrestling and breaking down Sting's last match. So you can find that on iTunes and Spotify as well. And lastly, Angel's going to get a little shock here, but we have been in talks of a Chicago sports podcast. So be on the lookout for that. That would be pretty much us here, but we'll be talking about Chicago sports in general, the Justin Fields saga, Chicago Cubs, all that good stuff. So once again, we want to thank for your time for joining us, guys. And until next time, we'll talk some smack. We're out.
Have a good night.